Good morning, Standard 2. So today we're going to learn a little bit more about maps, and there's a lot of symbols. So I'm going to remove that to show you a lot of symbols, but today we're going to be doing the first three, learning what the first three means, right? So I'm going to try to wipe that out so we're not distracted by it, and wipe those out as well. Okay, so we're first going to go ahead and start off with the cold front, the one all the way at the top. All right, get more of it out. Okay, I think that's good enough, right? We're not distracted by those at the bottom there. Okay, so cold front, it looks like this, like a line with an upside down triangle, and that's at the top there, and whenever it's full blue, it represents a cold front. So what is a cold front? So a cold front is when the cold air cuts the warm air and the cold air rises and we start feeling cold. We had this early this month and late last month when people were saying, "Teacher, I feel so cold, I have to get a sweater," is because we were having a cold front. The cold air cuts the warm air and we start to feel chilly, right? So what is the other one? The warm air symbol is when there's a red line and then like half circles on the bottom like this, and that means warm front. Now what is the warm front? The warm front is the opposite of the cold front. It's when the warm air rises and then we feel warm. So it would be like maybe a regular sunny day. We would feel a lot of warm air, feel hot. Maybe you need a cold drink. So that's when we have a warm front. So warm front is when the warm air rises, and then a cold front is when the cold air cuts through the warm air and starts making the environment feel cold, or the atmosphere feel cold. So let's look at them together. So warm air or warm front is when the warm air rises to the surface of cold air. And then a cold front is when the cold air cuts the flow of warm air, and then it makes the environment a lot colder. So let's look at the third symbol, stationary front. Well, a stationary front is a mixture of the cold front and the warm front. See, it has both of their symbols, but it has the warm front in the opposite way, right? So what is the stationary front? Let's get a picture up to help us. So this is a stationary front. A stationary front is when the cold and the warm air stay still, and usually we get a lot of clouds at that time, which means the cold air and the warm air are staying still. They're not, one is not going above the other. It's just like blended, like a regular cloudy day. And that's when we would have a stationary front. Right, so that's when it's usually cloudy, the warm air is still, the cold air is still. It's a cool day and it's cloudy. That's when we would get the stationary front. So we also want to look at other weather symbols, because when we look at our map, we also will see some symbols like this. And we know that this represents that it's going to be sunny, a sunny day. If we just see a sun, it's probably going to be really hot. And the cloud represents cloudy. The sun and the cloud represents partly cloudy. That means we're going to have our sun out, but we're going to have some clouds as well. Enough clouds that, you could kind of see clouds in the sky. You would get a little bit of shade sometimes from the clouds, and then it passed by, and then the sun is shining again. And then this would represent rainy. We don't have snow here in Belize, but this represents snow, the little symbol. Sun and rain, and we get this a lot. We get sun and rain, right? This is another one that comes for the US, sleet and hail, like when ice is falling. And then this symbol here would represent lightning. The little rollies represent wind. It's going to be a windy day. Stormy day, which means rain, clouds, and lightning, and then the rainbow. After the rain goes, you might be able to see a rainbow, right? So these are some basic signs that we would see on a weather map. So let's take a look at a weather map. So this is a digital weather map and broadcasting project. So this is like an example of how it would look. And this is showing us the general area of the United States. It does name some of the cities and some of the states. Well, it does name some of the states. Georgia, yeah. And then here, this is a great one because we can see the ones that we learned. We know what the warm front is, cold front is. And you know, L usually represents low pressure and H high pressure. Sometimes this H can represent a hurricane. But they also have a symbol that they use for a hurricane as well, so that you know you don't get mixed up. But let's go ahead and look at the warm front and cold front since we've gone over 3 so far. So we know that a cold front would be around this area, and as you can see, this is showing us that the cold front will be in many different states in this entire area here, right? And then let's look for the warm front. We can see the warm front here, and it would be along the coast here, like Atlanta, Georgia. Miami is going to probably get some of it. So it would be like around this area. And then we can also see some symbols like sun, 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 rain cloud, like it's going to rain, rain cloud for Denver. So when we look at a weather map, it would show a lot of different symbols. But this is not something that is commonly used because, you know, we have weather forecasts. We can look at the TV station, check it on Google. And when we check it on those apps, we would more than likely see reports like this. It would show us Monday, well, today will be Thursday for us. So it will show us the 17th, Thursday. It's going to be partly cloudy, partly sunny. Like we would probably just see a symbol here. So this is one kind of map that we have. On the next slide, you're going to have a little weather map, and I'm going to answer a few questions about the weather map. Let's see if we're able to read it a little bit, right? Okay, bye.